coming out to clean my gun, and I just thought about, I've had it long enough, maybe I should do a little gear review on it, or tell people kind of what I have and what I like and why I did certain things, I guess. So we'll start at the back. I got a BCM buttstock on it. I can't remember the exact model at this moment, but I really like it. The locking mechanism and how it mounts up to the mil-spec buffer tube is really stiff. So you kind of, like when you depress the lever, you kind of have to put a little bit of meat behind it to get it to move. I don't mind that because it kind of makes it more stable and less, moves around a lot less. I think this is an MS3 sling that I've kind of modified. I took one of the connectors off because it was a single point, and I just strapped it around from the buttstock up to a Magpul. Not a QD mount, but a HK mount, maybe. I don't remember. Not really big on the names of the parts. I just like what they do and the quality of them. Mil-spec buffer tube. The spring in there is the whatever the carbine mil-spec kit that comes in. I think I got it from Bravo Company USA. So I got a Magpul ASAP when I used to run single point. I kind of do occasionally. I like to have it on there just because, I mean, I can, if I teach somebody in a class or whatever, I can convert mine to theirs rather quickly and then teach them the technique for their rifle and how they have it set up. So moving on to the lower receivers, a Spikes Tactical. It's a the Honey Badger lower receiver, and the safety selector is a Battle Arms Development, so badass safety selector. And they're both, I got a short on this side, and then I have the I think the long on this side. I can't remember what it is. The grip is, I think it's the BCM mod 1, mod 0, but it's the one with the the grip is more vertical so that your wrist isn't so canted with the A2 style grips. Lower parts kit, just a standard mil-spec. I did replace the trigger though to a Geissele SSA-E. I love this trigger. I think I've got probably 10,000 rounds through the trigger itself, and then just the majority of this gun probably has about 20,000 rounds. I recently was shooting over at a buddy's house who's an armorer, and we were shooting suppressed, and I blew up my bolt carrier, and we kind of think that it was possibly due to the bolt carrier having so many rounds on it. I want to say maybe there was 20,000, 25,000 on that bolt carrier, but I don't really keep count. I just shoot, and if it breaks, I just replace it, because I don't really, you know, if it lasts longer than, you know, I think it probably, I mean, it's been, I've had that bolt carrier for about 4 years, and then it messed up probably a couple months ago during the make, you know, as I'm making this video, it's about a couple months ago. The new bolt carrier I have in it, I might have to put it down in the description when I remember it, but the coating on this thing is sick. It's a DLC coating. The old bolt carrier I had was Spikes Tactical. It was great. I mean, it did, you know, everything fine, and I really have never had any problems with it. But this bolt carrier's got a DLC coating, and I can't remember the name of it to save my life, but if I can remember it, I'll put it down in the description. But man, when I put that thing in there, that DLC coating was really slick. Like it slid back and forth inside the upper receiver really well, and I would definitely buy a bolt carrier that has that on there again. I haven't put, I probably put maybe 2,000 rounds through this bolt carrier right now, since I blew up my other one. But so far it's running good. Let's see, the what next? Okay, let's go to the charging handle. I used to have the old A2 style, I guess, charging handles, and then when I got into running my gun a little harder, I put a Bravo Company USA, I think the medium, which was just a single-sided. I started using this Radian Raptor ambidextrous. I kind of like what it has to offer. I do like the good grips where you can get the palm if you have to, mortar tube a gun or whatever, it doesn't slip off. Let's see. Rear sight. So I got Magpul front and rear sights. They're the flip up. I mean, I sight them in. I use them occasionally because you want to be proficient with them. But I mean, they work. Would I change them? Probably, because I want something a little smaller, a little bit more minimal. I don't really know. Maybe I'm just being picky. I don't really care. Upper receiver is a Bravo Company upper receiver. Barrel is a Bravo Company key mod. I don't really care either way, key mod, M-lock. I just don't like the quad rails, just because I guess I'm a wuss and I don't like chewing the shit out of my hand. But I do like the thinness of the free float style non-quad rail style rails. I will say this, I do like the mounting options, or the mounting style of this Bravo Company rail. Not a fan of the Torx head screws, but they work. And if you have a hard time getting them out, because I like to Loctite everything, every screw is Loctited. You can heat it up with a torch and get that Loctite loose. But other than that, the way it mounts is really solid. I like the fact that there's an index, there's a key or a stop that if these do rotate, loose to where the rail's not going to twist, it won't twist a whole lot. Aim point. This is a Micro H2. I've had that thing in my gun repertoire for probably, man, 3 or 4 years, and I have beat the hell out of it. I don't know if you could tell, there's scratches all over it. I've only replaced the battery like, I don't know, 3 or 4 times, but not because it needed it. I mean, the battery was, it was still on. I just, why not replace it? Just keep it fresh, maybe once a year. I mean, I know it goes, according to their website, at a power of 10 or whatever, it goes up to 5 years, but I just replace it every year just because it's cheap and it keeps it fresh. Let's see, I got a let's see, a LaRue hand stop. So when I'm doing, kind of gives me a point of reference for my hand. I have the BCM rail covers. It does get hot. I mean, every rail says that they'll dissipate heat and blah blah blah, all that crap. But you shoot it hard and fast enough, and you run it. If you actually run your damn gun, you'll notice it gets hot, and those rails will do pretty good. But I mean, it'll just happen. Running a Surefire, I believe it's the M300 weapon light on the pressure pad. I like it. I've had that thing probably, 5 years. Obviously, I just replace the batteries each time, but I have it on a Viking Tactics. I don't know if you can see that. A Viking Tactics mount. It just kind of like, it's a, I don't know what it's called, offset mount maybe. I don't know, but I slid that thing on there, and it keeps it nice and tucked out of the way. Keeps me from having to, I guess, run a rail section to clamp it to. I might change it up, but right now it seems to work just fine. The barrel is a Roscoe barrel, and the muzzle brake, because by Surefire, it's a suppressor adapter, because do run suppressed sometimes. Let's see what else. What other kind of weird crap is on this thing? Yeah, I think that's about it. I mean, this was the first gun that I built from the ground up. The first gun I bought was a DPMS Oracle that in training I quickly found things that I wanted to change on it, and that gun does not look the same. And so from there I learned, okay, I like this, I don't like this, I want to get that quality part from this quality manufacturer. And so in my opinion, I wanted to build a rifle that I would feel comfortable if I had to, not that I probably ever will, but that I could take it into a firefight or a war that I would feel comfortable with. And so, you know, I picked the parts that I did just because of the research that I found, and just using previous parts that seemed to work and break, and how, you know, it's kind of developing what I thought I would like from there. And actually I've been pretty happy with this thing. This rifle probably has, the barrel doesn't and the rail doesn't, but the main guts of the rifle probably has about, except for the bolt carrier, maybe 25,000 on it. I probably have had it about 4 or 5 years. Obviously, you know, a few parts will come in here and there, and I'll change them up. But the main guts of the rifle, like the lower and all that stuff, probably had about 5 years. Other than that, oh, I'm going to point this out. You might not be able to see it, but right here, I don't know if you can see that very well. When the bolt carrier did fire out a battery, we seem to think it was because, you know, the bolt went bad, but man, it could be a number of things. But it fired out a battery and it blew the magazine out of the gun and locked it up in here. Upper receiver we found was fine, no damage to it, except for when we tried to get the damn bolt carrier out. So we marred it up right there. There's a couple other spots along the edge that we marred it up at, but all in all, like the cosmetics I don't care about. I just want it to work. And so when we hammered it out with a punch, we got rid of the old bolt carrier, inspected everything, slapped in a new one, went and tested it, suppressed and unsuppressed, and I've been running it, you know, for the last, I don't know, 3 or 4 months, maybe less, I don't know, and it seems to be working fine. I do shoot a lot, so I'll probably get a higher round count on it here pretty soon. I guess if y'all have any questions, you know, I might try to answer them. And if I really don't care, I won't answer them. So, all right. Well, thanks for watching, and catch you on the next one.